Morning, Paul. Sorry for the waffle the other night. I did go on a little bit. It was more for me, actually. I was sort of thinking about what I need to do. And I was showing you underneath the chassis of that radio, etc., and pointing out bits and pieces. I was sort of making it in my mind to see how things would need to go. Here's a bit of fun. Look, I've got this set up temporarily on a really neat platform. The stove. This is a tube checker. Okay. I have a couple of them. This one's one of my favourite one. It's got a bit of a scale, and then below that it's got a very basic warning, bad, maybe it'll work, and then good. So you can set the parameters up on this thing and test different types of tubes that we have in our radios. Now, I've pulled out a couple out of that radio. This is one of the power tubes. It's a 6L6. Okay, and what you do is you can stick it in there. Make sure your filament and plate voltages are at 0, and then there's a neat little dial scale thing in here that you can look up the tube. Not all the tubes are in here, and most that we use aren't, just to point that out. But this is a 6L6. There it is there, you see. And then you read the thing and it says type 3, filament voltage 6.3, plate voltage 27, and then there's some letters. So we'll do those other things first. Type 3, well, that's your type, that's on 3. The filament voltage is 6.3, so you come here and goes 6.3, and then the plate voltage is 27, so you just sort of bring it up, doesn't it? Sort of those are two volt increments, so it's sort of in the middle there, 27. And then you got to set a row of switches. You see they go from A to E. So and there's a top, you move some to the top and some to the bottom. So there's a whole row of them in the middle. Some you move up, some you move down, and the rest you just leave. So top is C. See if I read this right. C, D, E. C, D, E. And then there's a bottom reading G and H. And if you have a look, G is in block letters as part of the test. Alright, so we've got that on. Now, as you see it working, you can see that the filament is starting to glow there, so it's starting to operate. You should give this thing a few minutes to warm up, but we're not going to do that. The other thing you do is you center the dial scale. Make sure that's on line testers right in the middle there, see? Sort of is, hang on, there we go. There's a little thing you move, and it moves the scale backwards and forwards, because different valves draw different current, and you've got to just calibrate the scale to give us a reading. Now, these ones in light type, you can move up and down and look at that light there. So I'm just moving them up and down. If that little short light flashes, or comes on, sorry, it means that the thing has a short in there, and the valves had it internally, where it's busted somehow. Now you notice that didn't come on. And then the next test we do in this valve, you just press this thing down and it will read the valve for you. Bang, there it goes, see? And that's sort of, it's in the good, but it's not spectacular. But that'll work. It's all relative, really. So it's sort of at 64. As time goes on and the thing keeps working, and it sort of warms up and starts to glow, probably the next 10-15 minutes, that would probably go up a little bit. It's trying to go up a little bit. So that tube's okay. That 6L6 is okay. So yank that out. I won't reset the thing because this thing has two 6L6s in it. Now this is one that was tested at some stage a long time ago. Look at that. It's got OK 78 new. So what it's telling us, somebody's put a sticker on there back in the day, because that sort of sticker is back in probably the 40s. They took a stab at what it was because probably the label came off the thing, but it is a 6L6, and it tested as new back then. Okay, so let's stick that one in. Ooh, that thing really drew the current, see? Oh, that's coming up. So that tested new as about 78 all those years and years ago. Do the test on the light letters again, just roll it through. No shorts happening in there, which is good. Look at that open. Oh, look at that. Oh, yeah, that's really going for it. Yeah, that's good. See, now that's a good tube. That's brand new, even after all these years. So what can we conclude from that? Whoa, look at that. That's really throwing some. That's up to 90%. Some of the tubes I'm ordering overseas that claim to be new old stock. It's probably a little, hang on a minute, let me centre this out down a little bit. That's been a little there. That line test was a little bit over the top, so it'll reduce. Let's see. Make sure we haven't knocked anything around. It seemed a little too perfect. 27.6.3. Let's try that again. That was a little optimistic in my book. Ah, there it goes. Look, 80%. Just under 80. And on the tube, 78. So not bad for my old tube checker. It's reading basically what somebody tested back in the day. What does that mean? This tube's had very little use. I would suggest that it was done at a time when somebody was doing some repairs on the radio. Forgive the mess. I need to set up properly. And possibly when someone was going to do some restoration. I haven't gotten under there yet to have a look, but given that when I showed you the other day that one of those electronic components had been uncoupled from underneath, so it was in the process. Somebody was in the process of doing this up. I've sort of made a start. I clean these up. I've restored that plug there. Because there's two big internal plugs. There's another one. That's come up nice. I suspect there's a bit of just under there. I didn't like the look of that. There could be a mouse turd or two in there. This thing has really, it's been sitting somewhere. I suspect when I really work it, it's going to come up nice. I went through my bits and bobs yesterday. I had a bit of time to myself, and I've replaced it. This is this shows you what you can get. This here is a rubber thing on a wooden thing. It looks like a door stop. Remember them from the back in the day? You know, it's basically what it is. That screws on there, and this rubber bung bumps up against the cabinet when you put the chassis in, right? So it stops you from going up too far and damaging this. These are quite a specialist little thing. Thus actually light in colour, and over age they go dark. You can see how it's also how it's worn just through years. You know, it's 80 something years old. Well, it just so happens I happen to have a brand new rubby thing for it. You can get these. I had it for another radio. I've ordered some more because I only had one, but you can replace them. And that one will go on. I'll tidy the wood up a little bit and clean all the 80 years of grime off it. And I've stuck the new one on just as a test, and it's fine. So, what a dag. It's amazing what you can buy. Alright, anyway, buddy, that's a bit of fun with tubes. Yeah, so all good and fun. Alright, mate. Ta-da.